Barnes Foundation, and I want to wish WURD a happy 20th anniversary.
This is Eric calling in to wish WURD a happy 20th anniversary.
I'm Karen Mayer, business manager at WURD Radio. Happy 20th anniversary, WURD. Looking forward to the next 20.
We're celebrating 20 years of progressive Black talk media. The views and opinions expressed by the guests, listeners, and hosts of any program on WURD Radio do not necessarily reflect those of the ownership, management, or advertisers of this station.
I'm simply saying that life finds a way.
All right, people. Write something on the board. Let's spell it. First letter.
L O G.
What's that?
What?
It's time. It's time to have real, honest, open, difficult, and inspiring conversations. It's time for Love and Life on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
Well, hello there, family, and welcome to Love and Life on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media, on air and online at wordradio.com. That's WURDradio.com. I am your host, Carol Riddick, and I am joined by none other than the incomparable Miss Kayla J., whom we missed the last episode. Hi, Miss Kayla J. Welcome back. Welcome back. Family, thank you for joining us. As always, thank you. Thank you. Happy Monday to you. Happy Monday. I hope you had a great weekend. And I want to hear all about it. I want to know all about it. I want to know everything you did. Did anybody attend Odun Day? Did you? How was it? Did you enjoy it? Was it fun? I'm sure it was. I have to apologize. I was so caught up in my excitement about Odun Day last Thursday. I said to you all, I will see you at Odun Day. And it completely skipped my mind that I would be in New Brunswick all weekend because I was performing. We had shows all weekend at the New Brunswick Performing Arts Center. My Nina Simone family and I, Gerald Beasley and Aaron Graves and Tim Hudson. So by the way, thank you to everybody that came out and supported us because it was received so well to all of the shows. And thank you to everyone that wanted to do so. We missed you. But in any event, I'm still a little upset that I missed Odun Day because I love Odun Day. I want to send a special shout out to our beloved Tanya Pendleton because I stopped by Reality Check earlier today just to hang out for a little bit, just for a little bit. And I had a great time. So thank you for the love that you showed me then. I was half asleep, but I was there. Okay. I was there. In any event, you do know what I like to do before we get started. I like to check in. We're going to do something a little different tonight, though, because we're going to talk with our guest first, and then we're going to catch up on everything, all things life. Okay. But I do want to check in. I would like for you to check in. Let me know that you're there. Let us know that you're ready to join the conversation. For those of you who are on our socials, please just send us a little hello, all that good stuff. Just send us a little hello. And for those of you who are listening and are not watching or on our socials, I tell you all the time that we know you're there. We feel your love and we appreciate you so much. And we send you love as well. To our family members whose spirit might be a little dim today. I am sending you all the extra love and hugs that you can handle, okay? And for anyone that would like to call and say hey and send some love verbally, you can feel free to do that too, because we welcome all the love. And you can do that by calling 215-634-8065, or you can call us toll free at 1-866-361-0900. I want to say hello to Nasir Butler, who is checking in. Hey there, Nasir. Come on now. Hey there, Nasir. He writes, good evening, Sister Carol and Kayla J. and guest. Peace and blessings. Peace and blessings to you as well. Always, always. And to that little one, that little grandson of yours, please always send my love to the baby as well. Well, to the whole family, but I love the babies. So please send my love. To anyone who's celebrating a birthday, you know what I'm saying to you. Happy birthday. Happy belated birthday to Luther Dowdell, but happy birthday to everyone celebrating a birthday to you. Extra, extra, extra love and birthday wishes to you. Family, I want to remind you of something. This June, we celebrate Black Music Month and the 50th anniversary of hip hop with an insightful and entertaining event. Join us for Message in the Music on Friday, June 16th from 8 p.m. until 11 p.m. at World Cafe Live, located at 3025 Walnut Street. This event features a panel discussion on hip hop as a soundtrack to inspire or incite, a live music trivia game show with prizes, a cipher, and an open mic. Our featured panelists include Dr. Aaron Smith, Tame, Queen Joe, Deanna Williams, and Ursula Rucker. So if you love music, if you have opinions about the state of hip hop, you want to test your musical knowledge, and or you want to show off your talent, join us on Friday, June 16th from 8 p.m. to 11 p.m. at World Cafe Live. Admission is $20 in advance and $25 at the door. So get your tickets now, family, at wordradio.com. This Black Music Month event is brought to you by Comcast, Pico, Keystone First, and WXPN Artists to Watch podcast. So, as I was explaining to you, we're going to do something a little different tonight. We're going to talk with our guest first before we get into everything happening in the world. But before we say hello to our guest and bring her into the space, I just want to say hello to Gary Bryant, who is also joining us on our socials. Good evening to you as well. He writes, good evening, Carol Riddick and Kayla J. And Wendy Elder Burton writes, hello, Carol, Kayla J. Looking forward to hearing from your guest. Yes, none other than Farida Boyer. You know we're excited to have her. We're excited. I told her, okay, I'm going to share with you, okay? Because I told her this. I was talking to her on the phone, and I was talking to her like, we had known each other for forever. I said, you just remind me of one of my friends. She was my BFF in high school. I said, oh my goodness, you are Kristen. I'm just convinced that you and Kristen are the same person. I know she probably thinks I'm bat crap crazy, but it's all right. It's all right. Okay. In any event, now that you know who our guest is, I'm going to make sure that those of you who are unfamiliar know as well. She is no stranger to the show. She is the executive director and co-founder of the Black Brain Campaign Association, a nonprofit organization that attempts to eradicate the stigma of mental health through community education and advocacy. She is a highly sought after therapist, supervisor, and speaker. And she's here to talk with us about self-esteem. So I can't wait for this conversation, okay? Y'all know I tell you I'm up and down all the time. In any event, family, I invite those of you who don't know to say hello to Farida Boyer, and those of you who do to say, hey, Farida Boyer.
Hello, thank you.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I won't complain. Ain't no need, okay?
It's not going to change much, right?
It won't change a thing, Farida. Not a thing. Okay. I'm finding myself being all emotional today, though. I said, oh,
It's the
Lord,
weather.
Farida's
Blame it
going
on
to.
the weather.
It
Blame it on the weather.
is. I mean,
Horrible.
seriously. It
Mhm.
really, it
But we
really
needed the
is.
rain. We needed the rain.
When I tell you my grass looks like, I mean, it's so crunchy right now. It was so crunchy before this rain. I was praying for rain, praying for it. So I
Yeah.
won't complain about the rain at all. But I was a little happy earlier. You know, the sun was out, walking my
Mhm.
little fur child and everything. One raindrop came and I said, I said, I don't like this.
Mhm. Yeah.
I don't like. Well, we're happy to have you join us again. Thank
Thank
you for
you.
coming back.
Thank you for having me.
So glad you could be here. So I was telling our family members we're going to talk about self-esteem today.
Hmm.
Oh, what a day to talk about it, right?
Right. Right. Well, hopefully it'll boost, most of our moods just to learn, get some information and find some new tools to use.
Hopefully, I'm out. Listen, family, y'all know I tell you I'm always looking for some new tools. I'm always looking for new tools because it's it's never ending. We're all human, and that's what happens as human beings.
Hmm. Hmm.
Listen. Because I'll tell them, I'll let everybody know when my light is a little dim. Like, okay, it's not one of those, it's one of those days.
Right.
So we're
Right.
happy to have you here to help us when we have those days that are not so bright for us, when we
Hmm.
vibrate low.
Hmm. Hmm.
One question I have about self-esteem, because I hadn't really like dug deep in thought about it. But when I
Hmm.
was thinking about having the conversation with you, I said, let me ask her, or would having like low self-esteem be
Hmm.
categorized as a mental health condition, or is it just
It's usually a symptom of a larger problem. It could be a
okay?
symptom of a larger problem. A lot of people with low self-esteem may feel depressed, may have
Mm,
anxiety. So it could be, it's not like, so one of the things, I'm not sure if I shared this. When we give diagnosis, we use a DSM-5. Well, that's the latest one. So it's a diagnostic statistical manual. That's what we have to use. That anybody, a therapist, a psychiatrist, a psychologist, that's the book that we use to diagnose. Self-esteem is not an actual diagnosis, but it's a symptom of
okay.
other problems. So yeah.
Huh. So, does are there like varying degrees of low self-esteem, or in order for it to be considered a symptom of a larger problem, or
I think to be honest, I would think that some of us have some esteem issues, but I think
mm-hmm,
it becomes so I think when I think about low self-esteem, more, and just to give a quick definition, it's more about the opinion of yourself. It's like the unhappiness, or you don't feel satisfied within.
mm-hmm,
So um there are times where it might be, I got a pimple on my face and this is not making me feel good, and you're just focused on this pimple, but that's like not really low self-esteem. Good about my
mm-hmm,
face today. But when you think about people that have self-esteem issues, a lot of times it could be developed in childhood, and it looks different from a child, from an adolescent to an adult, because you're at different stages of your life.
mm-hmm,
And when you think about that self-esteem or low self-esteem, it's how do I see myself? What am I missing? Did I not get love growing up? Did I not get enough hugs growing up? Was I raised not to feel good about myself? Was I called names? Was I bullied? And all of those things. So especially so when you think about a child, those things that are missing in childhood, it's different for an adult. It does not
mm-hmm.
receiving those things. Whereas though children can't really, they don't have the skills to kind of I would say, like, to assess like what's happening for me and why am I feeling like this. Whereas though an adult would hopefully have more of the capability to assess what they're going through. So that's pretty much.
So do you? I don't know if I asked you this in the past. Do you treat both children and adults, or when in your therapy practice? Well,
I,
what
I
did you?
was.
You
I
were
did. I did. I was.
okay.
I would see children. I would see adults. I used to be a teacher. I was a first grade teacher.
Shut up!
Yeah, yeah. I was a first grade.
Oh, see that I
Some
did
of
not know that.
my students, my first grade students are now adults. One of them is my accountant. But but that's how long ago it was. But yeah,
Okay.
so yes. And I used to work at Children's Hospital. I was I taught parents. I worked in their early Head Start program, so I taught parents how to teach their children, and that's how I actually became a therapist. Working at Children's
Mm.
Hospital, I went back to school and did the work because I the Head Start program is for like low to moderate income families. So I'm going into the homes doing home visits, and you see a lot being in people's homes.
Yeah.
You get to be a part of their family for a week. I think we had 90-minute visits. So I would go into the homes, meet with the parent, and teach them how to teach their children. And that was one of the things that we taught them, like social and emotional behavior. So and how to develop their self-esteem. Like looking at give your child a hug. How does it feel when you touch your child? Like how are they reacting to you just by a touch? All those things.
Wow. It's so interesting to hear you say that because it's something that it's so simple. It's so easy to do to give a hug or to give a
Mhm.
compliment or
But
you
we
know
think it is, right? We think it is.
right,
But
right.
most people who haven't gotten hugs growing up don't really give out hugs. They don't have that ability. Like, I don't want to, like, I'm not used to getting hugs. So it's, you internalize it and it's like, I don't feel like it doesn't feel good. Or it might feel creepy to me that somebody wants to touch me. It doesn't feel good.
Oh, that makes sense. So they're more rigid as an adult. Would you say there's a little more of a
It could
rigidity?
be. hmm
Okay,
hmm
okay, okay,
And then
okay.
you think about that. So then when you have children, if you're not giving out hugs to your children, they in turn then internalize it. I'm not feeling loved because she doesn't hug me. She doesn't tell me, or he doesn't tell me that he loves me. So then that's when you go out and you're looking for love in other places. You get in other relationships that are unhealthy because
Right.
you're used to that type of behavior.
Lord, listen, I tell you, family, if you just joined us, you're tuned in to Love and Life on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media, on air and online at wordradio.com. That's WURDradio.com. Listen, you too can join the conversation. You can send us a message on our socials, or you can call us, and you can do that by dialing 215-634 8065. You can call us toll free as well at 1-866-361-0900. I was having a moment there before I decided to share that information and with our family members because it's always so educational
Mm-hmm.
for me
Mm-hmm.
to talk with you all whenever we have anyone in your field on as a guest. I'm always saying, well, there's a light bulb. There's a light that comes on when you all say things, and it's really interesting to me. I start reflecting and thinking of my own childhood and my own upbringing, and and
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I have wonderful, wonderful memories, but there are little things that makes me think of. Like my
Right.
mom, she wasn't a big hugger. My mother wasn't a
Mm-hmm.
big hugger. She was,
So are you a big hugger?
I am. I am. But here's the thing, because she always, my mother, she would always say, you speak to everybody. You make sure you speak to everybody. She would always encourage,
Mm-hmm.
me to be, but
Mm-hmm.
she wasn't comfortable. She wasn't comfortable.
Mm.
But now
That's
in thinking, well, I think it's because she was one of 8 children, 6 girls and 2 boys.
a lot of
And
hugs I have to give as a parent.
yes, right. And that's what I was,
Mm-hmm.
and she was the last girl.
Oh
So
wow.
so everybody was, she didn't get a lot of hugs. You know what
Right.
I mean?
Right.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
she
Mm-hmm.
didn't get a lot of
Her
hugs,
mom could have been all hugged out. It's like I had
listen,
8 children. I'm tired of hugging. And it's not to giving an excuse, but it's just a reality, you know?
It is. It is a
Mm-hmm.
reality. And now, as I'm listening to you say this, it makes me think about it. And too, just from hearing her say, and my aunts and uncles, she was jealous when my uncles, because the two boys, well, my last uncle, Uncle John, came after my mother. He was the baby of them all. So she was the baby until he came along. And she was, she was not happy about that. So he got all the hugs.
Oh, wow. Wow.
So I'm
Yeah,
listening
she was
to as
one
you're
of 6
saying,
girls, though.
6 girls and 2 boys.
That's interesting. What do you think about that? Because so when you think about the dynamics of the family system, right? It's 6 girls. She's the last girl. Then it's like, now what's the difference? Where's the oldest boy? Where's
So
the
he was like 3 before her. So he was on his way into the military. Like, she was
so they hadn't
she
had a
was used
little
to
boy in a long time.
No, she was used to being the baby as well.
Right.
And then my
Right.
Uncle John came along and she was no longer the baby. She was no longer the baby. So they had a very interesting relationship. Family, I'm just going to take one moment because I'm looking at the time and it is time for us to take just a short break, but I can't wait to get back to this. Family, stay with us because we will be right back.
For more than a decade, Comcast has been committed to bridging the digital divide in Philadelphia and across the country. From connecting people to the internet to opening doors for the next generation of innovators, entrepreneurs, and storytellers, they are helping to create a future that benefits generations to come. Now, Comcast is expanding their efforts through Project Up, their comprehensive initiative to help build a future of unlimited possibilities. Backed by a $1 billion commitment to reach tens of millions of people over the next decade, Comcast is working to ensure all Philadelphians have the skills, resources, and opportunities they need to participate and excel in an increasingly digital world. This includes partnering with community experts to build a network of digital navigators, trusted individuals who help build awareness around initiatives like the government's Affordable Connectivity Program and teach critical digital skills to get more people online. Project Up, building a future of unlimited possibilities. Learn more at comcast.com/Project Up. Through Project Up, Comcast is committing $1 billion to build a future of unlimited possibilities.
Music is my heart and soul. It's more precious than gold. Turn on some music.
This June, we celebrate Black Music Month and the 50th anniversary of hip hop with an insightful and entertaining event. Join us for Message in the Music, Friday, June 16th from 8 p.m. until 11 p.m. at World Cafe Live, 3025 Walnut Street. This event features a panel discussion on hip-hop as a soundtrack to inspire or incite. There's a live music trivia game with prizes, a cipher, and an open mic. Our featured panelists include Dr. Aaron Smith, Tane, Queen Joe, Deanna Williams, and Ursula Rucker. If you love music, have an opinion about the state of hip-hop, want to test your musical knowledge, or want to show off your talent, then come join us on Friday, June 16th from 8 p.m. to 11 p.m. You'll even be able to sign up to become a WURD member. Make sure you do that before you do anything else. Be sure to join us on Friday, June 16th from 8 p.m. to 11 p.m. at World Cafe Live. Admission is $20 in advance and $25 at the door. Get your tickets now at wordradio.com. This Black Music Month event is brought to you by Comcast, Pico, Keystone First, and WXPN Artist to Watch podcast. You're listening to Love and Life with Carol Riddick on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
Hey there, family. Welcome back. You are tuned in to Love and Life on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media, on air and online at wordradio.com. That's WURDradio.com. Some of our family members are continuing to check in. Miss Lola has checked into the conversation. Hi, Miss Lola. She writes, hello, Word, Carol, Kayla J. Finally able to listen after a very busy day. What's the topic? Well, Miss Lola, we started out talking about self-esteem, but then I mentioned some things about my family. We're going to get back into that in just a second. But she writes, I like a quick hug, nothing all long. People's germs creep me out. Miss Lola, you are a mess. She writes, I also like and appreciate a double air kiss for each cheek. You know, air is the chosen word. Very chic and Parisian. Miss Lola, you are a mess and I love it. I love it. You hear me? But I'm the hugger. I am I'm like, bring it in. I know germs and I know it's crazy. It's terrible in 2023, but that's who I am. But my getting back to what I was sharing. So my aunts and uncles, my Uncle Junior was older. My mother was the last girl. And then here came my Uncle John. And the two of them, they used to go at it too. And even in their adult life, it was so cute though. It was a brother and sister love, but you know, they would go at it. And even in their adult lives, my aunts would say, she's just mad because he was the baby, you know.
She still holds those feelings towards him.
They did. Like all of them are gone now, except for my Uncle Junior. He's the only one left, my Uncle Junior. But all of the girls are gone, and my Uncle John passed recently. But it was cute. It was really cute because they would all still talk about it, and even she would, make mention of it every now and again. But she always encouraged me to be loving. Always. Listen. So much that Farida, I'm gonna share this, Lord. I know y'all are really going to think I'm bat crap crazy when I share this, but I was so mad. I was mad at my mother one time. I think I was about 5 years old. I said, "That's okay. That's all right because I'm moving out." And I told her I was going to go live with the homeless lady down the street because I used to bring her apples every day. I did.
Everybody's love. Everybody's love.
But in any event, so it was interesting to hear you say that about self-esteem, and it made me, like I said, think of my upbringing and the experiences that I had, because my mother, as loving a woman as she was, she was very rigid with her hugs. Like she there was a rigidity, I would say, but she was a loving woman, loving person. Yeah. And I think it goes back to what she experienced.
Because most of who we are is from our childhood, our experience, our family. And when you think about I'm sure you could say some things. It's funny because I'll say sometimes, oh yeah, I'm going to get a person to play. And my friends and my sisters, they laugh. I was talking to my mother the other day, and she said, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna give her a play." And I told my girl, "That's who I get it from. That's exactly who I get it from." Because I'm like, I didn't know where I got the saying from. I just know I would say it, and it's like that's what happens. It's like we pick up those patterns of behavior, and that's who we become.
Yeah, that is so interesting to me. So, when we're talking about self-esteem. And I'm curious to know, like, what are some ways that low self-esteem can alter one's lifestyle? Like, so what would you say? Like,
it can do a lot to you because it depends on how much of it, like how engrossed you are in within yourself. So you can have difficulty with coping. It may be hard for you when you think about people, even with eye contact. Some people with low self-esteem can't just look you in the eye and have a conversation because most of them look down, because it's difficult for them to do that. Sometimes people feel hopeless. It's like they've been through so much, they can self-harm. And the most detrimental thing that we have to think about, one of the things that people with low self-esteem think, it's like, I have to be perfect. This has to be right. My hair has to be right. My clothes has to be right. And if it's not right, think about even if you just got your hair done today and then you walking outside into the rain. and you have low self-esteem. How's that going to make you feel? I didn't spend my money, my time in the salon, and then I'm going to go outside and it's going to puff up. And how do you think that's going to make, like, just even somebody with regular self-esteem, you're going to be annoyed. So somebody with low self-esteem, it's just like, that can ruin your whole day, your entire week, all of those things. And when you do that or have those feelings consistently, the worst thing can happen that people don't understand is suicide, because you're continuously having those feelings and emotions built up. People start self-harming, doing things that, disparaging things to their bodies, and they just feel hopeless. So those are some of the things that's like life-changing that we need to pay attention to. So even when we can't treat it like, oh, it's not that big of a deal. One of the things that, that I've been having conversations with people recently about is just people getting their bodies done. And when you think it's like, okay, you might get one thing done. And then you go from my lips to my nose to my eyes to my breath, like, and then you're going on and on. And it's like, how do you really feel about yourself that you're trying to change your whole entire body?
Yeah, that saddens me. It really, that the thought, quite honestly, of anybody wanting to do that much to themselves, it saddens me, because that's a lot of pain. That's a lot of pain. That's a lot of hurt. That's a lot of dissatisfaction. And it feels to me like it's so deeply rooted. It makes me sad. It makes me sad for that individual, because that's a lot. And from the stories that I've read and the people that I've seen, it appears that, like you were saying, once they get one thing done, then they move to the next, and so forth and so on. It's a never ending, right? It's a never ending cycle. Like,
exactly.
Oh, so I'm curious to know now. Earlier, when I was asking about the correlation between self-esteem and mental health, like asking whether it would be considered a mental health challenge or issue, at what point would you say an individual should come to see you or another therapist if they have concerns about their self-esteem?
I think when it becomes like you can no longer control it and it's kind of overtaking you. Like, I can, okay, let me get my hair done. Now I might feel better about myself. But when you feel like it's causing harm to yourself, then you should be seeking help about it. And even and that's what I was explaining to you, like for children, like it's different in adults and children, adolescents. You may see some similar behaviors, but you just want to pay attention to how children are acting, like socially, in isolation and all of those kind of things. Why aren't they engaging in a group? Why don't they want to communicate with the other people? So those are the things that you want to ask, like especially a lot of times when you see and this is adolescents too. One of the things that is a definite issue with social media and adolescents, because they believe what they see on social media is real.
Yes.
And it is really causing such an impact on their lives. And it's like they don't understand it. And it's unfortunate because this is how they grew up. So it's like, okay, everybody's putting everything on social media, and this is what I see, not really understanding most it's for social media.
Exactly.
I know people who won't even post a picture without a filter on social media. So
I know people like that too.
Yes. And I'm the worst on social media, so I don't really have time to even try to think about the filter. But it's
listen.
There are people like that. Yes.
And I know some of those people. I do. They say, wait, I got to fix it first. So I have to, like, what do you do? What do you have to do? I have to fix it. It has to be right. Like, well, this is what it is. What's not right about what it is? Like, but and to that point, I haven't had the bandwidth for social media. I really, I have posted so little since the start of this year because I don't like how social media makes me feel. I don't. It affects me differently, and some days I'm like, So I haven't had the bandwidth for it. I just really haven't. I've had to push myself when I do, and I know I'm supposed to be posting more than I am,
Right,
but I
exactly.
don't like. No.
But you know what? I feel like I'm a little older. It's not my era. I asked the young people, what am I supposed to be doing? And they kind of guide you, but it's also having conversations with them and just talking to. I think it's important for us to have conversations. Like, what's happening for you? How do you feel about social media? What's your thoughts about social media? Because I think what happens is a lot of times we're not having conversations and we're assuming. This is especially to young people. One of the things that I'm actually in between a meeting right now. I was like, I got to do the radio show today. So it's a meeting going on. But one of the things that I don't like being in meetings about adolescents or young people when there's no young people in the room. So I'm like, why are we having meetings about young people? Nobody's talking to them. So how can we help? But we're saying we're helping them. They need to be in the room. We need to figure out. I took a group of young people out to dinner because I wanted to know what's going on. I see crime and shooting, y'all doing all these things. What is happening for you? So I think really having conversations with them to try to understand what's really happening for them. And be you go on social media and you see this person has these things. They have these designer things, these nice sneakers, and my mother can't afford that. So how is that making me feel? I feel less than. And then my self-esteem is plummeting.
Yep. Oh my goodness. I'm hearing you and I'm processing this and I'm thinking of all the conversations that I've had with the babies with whom I work and have worked. And I'm always I don't know what to do to help them. Like, there's always because I've worked in different schools, and I'll say I'll try to give an idea. One story I'll share. I had a young man in one of my classes, and he was always quiet, but whenever any of his students, any of my students, any of his classmates would talk with him, they would always annoy him. He would always act out. And then he asked me one day after class if you could talk with me. Sure. And he said, Miss Riddick, he apologized to me for his behavior in my classroom. He said, but they annoy me. He said his classmates annoy him because they don't understand him. And he said his teacher, he couldn't tell his actual teacher this. So she didn't understand what he was dealing with and what he was going through because she just thought he was a problem child. And that was the way she treated him. She, she didn't make an effort to understand what was actually going on. But he was saying that, his classmates, they didn't understand him and they annoyed him because he explained to me, I don't learn things as quickly.
So that's a form of what? When they're bothering him because he doesn't learn as quickly, that's bullying.
It is bullying. They are, yes, and they were. And they were. So he asked me, he said, Miss Riddick, can I sit to the side? Because where I had them set, the way I had my classroom set up. He said, can I sit to? Yes, you can. And I never had an issue. He participated in everything from that day forth. He was such a, but they're just dealing with so much. We talk about self-esteem and we're talking about babies now, not even adults. And we don't know what they're dealing with at home and then they come to school. Y'all don't get me started. Y'all know. Listen, it's that time again just to take another commercial break. So family, if you've just joined us, you're tuned in to Love and Life on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media, on air and online at wordradio.com. Listen, I am inviting you to join the conversation, because Farida won't be with us much longer because she's got to get to her meeting. But while she's here, you can send us a message on our socials, or you can call in. You can do that by dialing 215-634-8065, or you can call us toll free at 1-866-361-0900. But whatever you do, stay with us, okay? Because we will be right back.
The Juneteenth block party at AMP is back bigger and better than before. Kicking off Wawa Welcome America on Monday, June 19th from 11 a.m. until 4 p.m. at the African American Museum in Philadelphia on Arch Street between 7th and 8th. Join them for a nonstop day of culture, history, and fun. Hosted by WURD's very own Tiffany Bacon. With performances by DJ Spinderella, Cy Rock, and Soul Messiah, Mr. Man's Jam Band, and a very special tribute to 50 years of hip-hop. Enjoy free admission to the museum, family-friendly entertainment, games, food, giveaways, and more. For more information, visit July4thphilly.com.
Need a minute? Take a breath and breathe in positivity. Here are words of joy and empowerment from WURD Radio.
Vision without action is merely a dream. Action without vision just passes time. But vision with action can change the world. These are the words of Joel Arthur Barker, and my prayer and hope for Philadelphia, a city I was born in, educated, lived, and work in, will collectively come together to help its citizens by bringing economic prosperity to those in need, create safe and affordable housing for the disenfranchised, and create safe and organic spaces for adults and children to grow. I am Kimberly Lloyd.
This joy and empowerment vignette was brought to you by Comcast.
How was your drive to school?
Let me tell you, I had to get my iced coffee first. I just can't seem to put it down. My favorite rapper just announced a tour. My phone was buzzing like crazy. I'm so excited. I had to text all my friends right then to talk about it. Then someone started calling me and...
Let's try that again.
I turned my phone off right away. I never drive distracted.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
WURD family, it's that time again. Our special early bird membership drive. Hi, I'm Sarah Lomax, WURD president and CEO. We need your support now more than ever, especially this year when we're celebrating our 20th anniversary. For the last 2 decades, WURD has been the only place in Philly where our people can speak and be heard in their own voice every day, all day long. Your membership support has allowed us to expand our programming, deepen our community engagement, and provide culturally relevant information across all of our platforms, on air, online, on social media, and through community outreach events. If you're not a Forward member yet, please join or renew today at the discounted rate of $75. Visit us at wordradio.com/earlybird or check us out in person when we'll be at WURD's Black Music Month celebration on June 16th or for the Juneteenth weekend celebrations on June 18th and 19th. For more information, go to wordradio.com/earlybird. Thanks so much.
What is love?
You're listening to Love and Life on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
I think I know what love is.
Hey there, family. Welcome back. You are tuned in to Love and Life on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media, on air and online at wordradio.com. That's WURDradio.com. We are talking with Farida Boyer, and we're talking about self-esteem in both children, young adults, and good and grown adults, I might add. I'm going to take a moment just to look at our socials to see who's joining us now. Miss Lily, hi there. She writes, good evening, Carol, Kayla, J, guest, and WURD family. So before the break, Farida, I was talking about one of my former students. How do I, not even as a teacher, but just say that anybody who, and any adult who happens to have an experience with a child that they have low self-esteem, how do we handle that?
The first thing you want to do is ask them a question. What's going on for you? Like, you want to hear what's happening for him or her. Because again, we can't just go in and try to fix it without knowing the problem. So once you understand what the problem is, then you can help resolve the issue. If it's something that they feeling negative about themselves, how can we support you in increasing your positive self-talk? One of the things that as a therapist I do with clients who may have self-esteem issues, I'll tell them to look in the mirror. It's an assignment, look in the mirror. Don't just look at yourself for about 30 seconds to 1 minute. Then I want you to write down everything that you see. Good, pros, cons, everything that you see. Write it down. And then we can talk about it. What do you see when you're looking at yourself for that minute? What do you see in your eyes? What do you see about your lips and ears and all those things? If it's a facial issue. So that's an exercise that we do. We do a mirror exercise. So that's
Farida, I'm sorry. We're going to all be in therapy if we all do that exercise, because I can tell you right now, listen, I can tell you right now, if I look in the mirror, I'm going to say, well, this and this. But let me take a moment. Miss Rowena is joining us. Hi, Miss Rowena. Miss Rowena Brown writes, good evening, Carol, Riddick, guest, and Word family. Farida, please explain someone that is shy. Is it almost the same as low self-esteem?
Not necessarily. Not necessarily. Some people just don't want to be outspoken in public. So it doesn't necessarily, it doesn't, when you talk about, I'm just even giving you an example for being in a household with 8 children. One of the things that I realized, and something that I had to teach parents, when you have multiple children in a household, especially for a younger child, people give them what they want. They don't even have to say anything. It's like before you can say, here's your milk, you want water? You don't even have to say much because they're giving you whatever it is they think you want or want. So, and then you fast forward, that person is more than likely not to talk in front of crowds because they haven't had that opportunity to express themselves. So that may be an example. It's not necessarily meaning somebody that's shy that has low self-esteem. They just may not have a lot of experience with being out and open and expressing themselves like other people.
That makes sense. Miss Rowena, did that help? Listen to me, my mouth, I'm all tongue-tied, family. I don't know what's happening over here. Miss Rowena, did that help? Did that explanation help? Please let us know so that, and if you have a follow-up question to the explanation that Farida just gave. So family, we're encouraging you, if you have any questions or comments about the subject matter, we're talking about self-esteem, and we're encouraging you, if you have a question, a comment, to share it with us. You know what we do here at Love and Life. And as a matter of fact, we're doing things a little different tonight because we're talking with Farida in the first hour. And in the second hour, we're going to talk about everything going on in the world. So we've got a whole lot more talking to do. So
there's a lot to talk about what's going on in this world.
OMG. Oh my gosh. Wait, I had just okay. Let me tell you something. I have not, I mean, I thank God all day, every day, but I had just driven, was just on 90, had just hours before that.
Wow.
When I tell you, okay, before I get, because I'm about to start shouting in here and get all kind, because you will really see me cry now. Be like, thank you, God. But seriously, there is so much going on. When I was looking at everything to talk with everybody about, I said, oh yeah, we're going to need some time because we have a lot to discuss. Which
and
you know what?
You think about it. Last week we had to have the windows closed because of the smoke.
Still listen, we're not too far off of that because they're talking about it, you know, some of it happening again. And look, I don't even want to get off topic because I got so much to talk about the water, because I read something about the water today. So we're going to family. We're going to talk about all of that. Yep, we're going to talk about all of that. Look, see what I'm saying, Kristen? Listen. but we're talking about self-esteem. And we want to know if you have questions as well, or if you have comments. Miss Rowena, we're waiting to hear from you to see if Farida answered the question that you asked, or if you have a follow-up question to the response that Farida gave to your initial question. Family, you know you can call us at 215-634-8065, or you can call us toll free at 1-866-361-0900. We do have another family member that is asking, as an introverted child, sports and small group participations, most important, find a friend. Okay, not a question, but a suggestion. Find a friend. Yeah, how about that? Yeah. Well, that was
Someone
me.
you
I was
feel
the quiet
comfortable with
child.
talking to. Yeah, someone you
Yeah.
feel comfortable with talking to. Yep.
I was very, very, very shy. I mean, very,
Mm-hmm.
very, very shy. I didn't say a
Really?
word. OMG. I was terrified of the world. I said nothing. Nothing. And I went to drama school. I went to Freedom Theater.
My
And it
brother
helped
went to
me.
Freedom Theater. Yeah,
I
I'm
went
literally
to,
across. Freedom Theater is behind me right now.
oh, wow. Can you
Yeah.
see that? I went to Freedom
Mm-hmm.
Theater and it helped me. It helped to break me out of my shell. I had
Wow.
it really did. I studied drama. And
Mm.
yep, I was studying drama, but I was so shy that
Mm-hmm.
I really wasn't, I didn't participate in class. I
Mm-hmm.
wanted to do
Mm-hmm.
so. I mean, inside, I was so happy to be there and I wanted to participate,
Right.
but
But
I
you
just
just didn't
couldn't.
have the courage to do so.
I did not. I did not.
Now, were you shy on the outside? What was your experience like at home?
Well, was an only child. My mother's only child, not my father's, but my mother's
Okay.
only child,
Okay.
and I lived with my
That's
mother.
interesting then. That's interesting because you're in the home just with your mother,
Mhm.
just you and your mother. So
Mhm.
maybe were you shy? Did you talk to adults? Did you feel comfortable with talking to adults?
You know what? And here's the thing: the adults with whom I became close, they like my grandma. I was close with my grandfather first, and then he
Mm-hmm.
died. He died
Wow.
at when I was 3 years old, and then I became close to my grandmother, and she died my freshman year of high school. And
Wow.
then I was close with my aunt, and then she died. So
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
it was, I had a very hard time dealing with loss, because it
Mm.
was just feel like, everybody to whom I had become extremely attached, I would
Two.
lose.
Right. Right.
Miss Rowena writes, yes, it did help, in all caps.
Mm-hmm.
She writes, thank you, because she's shy and she's trying to get over it. Well, Miss Rowena, listen, we can talk.
Mm-hmm.
We can talk
And
because
and it might, I think it's helpful just what when you said you found a place that brought you out of that shell. You have to find
Mhm.
something. Perhaps if you never went to Freedom Theater, you may have still been had those shy qualities. So I
Mhm.
think, and just like one of the family members said, find someone to talk to. And with you being the only child, it kind of, I wasn't shy. I felt more comfortable with talking to people that I knew. Even today,
Mhm.
until today, I'll go in a room with people I don't know. So I'm very observant. Let me see what's going on first before I may chime in or feel comfortable enough. But I've gotten better over time because of the work that I do. But
Mhm.
initially, if I don't know I'm just gonna observe and see what's happening in the room
Well,
before I say something.
I was shy, but I was so withdrawn because I was a bedwetter. And
Mm.
when my grandfather passed when I
Mhm.
was 3, I began to
Mhm.
wet the bed, and I wet the bed until I
Mm.
was 10 years old, because
Wow.
I missed, I would sleep in a coma-like state. Like, I fell one time from my bunk bed and blacked my own eye
Mhm.
because I and didn't know it. I was on the floor crying in my sleep. Yeah, I know, but
Mm.
I was so, like, I love so hard, and
Mhm.
my grandfather,
Mhm.
I was his baby, and
Wow.
when he passed, that was it for me. I was traumatized, And I began to sleep, and he would wake me every night. He would wake me every night. He would wake me in the morning because we'd have fish and grits for breakfast, and I'd have graham crackers. And he was.
When you think about those things, right? That's a symptom of your loss. The bedwetting became a symptom of your loss, and a lot of some parents is like angry. You wet in the bed, that means I got to wash these sheets, and I got to buy new sheets, and you messing up clothes. Not really understanding that's a symptom of a larger problem.
Yep. And, I'm grateful because my mother did not do that to me. She was understanding. She knew, because she knew that I was a sensitive child as well, a passionate child, and how much my grandfather and I loved each other, and she knew how traumatized I was when he passed. But I blamed, I was sorry that I kept wetting the bed and for what I was doing with her, because she had to keep washing everything. So I talked less, I felt so badly. And then I felt everybody would know. So I was so shy. I was withdrawn because I didn't want them to know. I didn't want anybody. I didn't want them to know. So I was really, really shy because I was just ashamed. And I was just ashamed. I was ashamed as a baby. Family, oh, look at this. I did not intend for this to be a therapy session, Miss Farida. Listen, but in the event.
That's how it usually happens, right?
You know what? But I'm happy for it because y'all know, family, y'all know I'm very transparent. I talk with you about all of this. I tell you about anything. I don't have a problem with it because I believe that something from everybody's story, life, can be beneficial and helpful to another person. So I have that's why Miss Rowena, I said we can talk. But what I want to do right now is time for us to let Miss Farida go. And family, don't you go anywhere though, because we have so much more to talk about. But we're going to take just a short commercial break. And when we come back, y'all can ask me questions if you choose to do so. I don't have a problem answering them, but we're going to talk about some other things as well. So stay with us because we'll be right back.
Yo, this is King Earner coming to you guys live and direct. If you're looking for a home care agency with honor, then Good Brothers Home Care fits the bill. And besides the honor, Good Brothers have great pay, benefits, and experienced caregivers. So if you're in the need of home care services or would like to transfer to an agency, contact us at 215-874-9300. That's 215-874-9300, or hit us up on the web at goodbrothershomecare.com.
Hey, son, how are you feeling?
I'm fine, Pops.
What's on your mind?
I can't explain it. Navigating without a compass, eyes waiting, started to wonder. Metamorphosis, the loss of who you thought you was.
When your kid can't find the language, help them find the lyrics. Listen to the Sound It Out album and get tips and tools to start a conversation at sounditouttogether.org. Brought to you by Ad Council and Pivotal Ventures.
In honor of Black Music Month and the 50th anniversary of hip hop, this is Blackademics.
Oh, freedom.
Some 52 years after enslaved Africans were emancipated, the United States witnessed a great migration of formerly enslaved Blacks from the South to the North. Many settled in cities like Chicago, Philadelphia, and New York, Harlem to be exact. This section of New York became the epicenter of the creative energy and artistic expression known as the Harlem Renaissance. To quote the Smithsonian, the Harlem Renaissance encompassed poetry and prose, painting and sculpture, jazz and swing, opera and dance. What united these diverse art forms was their realistic representation of what it meant to be Black in America, as well as a new assertion in our civil and political rights. The Harlem Renaissance instilled in many African Americans across the country a new spirit of self-determination and pride, a new social consciousness, and a new commitment to political activism.
If we must die, let it not be like hogs hunted and penned in an inglorious spot, while round us bark the mad and hungry dogs, making their mock at our cursed lot. If we must die, oh, let us nobly die, so that our precious blood may not be shed in vain. Then even the monsters we defy shall be constrained to honor us though dead.
That's rapper Ice-T with a poem from Harlem Renaissance poet Claude McKay. The explosion of Black creative expression during the Harlem Renaissance greatly influenced American popular culture. Sound familiar? In later episodes, we'll investigate the culturally rich relationship between jazz and hip-hop and how many discounted the legitimacy of both genres. This Black Music Month vignette was brought to you by Pico, WXBN Artist to Watch podcast, and Posigen. Celebrating 20 years of progressive Black talk media, we're bringing joy and power to the people. This is WURD 900 AM and 96.1 FM, Philadelphia. Streaming online at wordradio.com and the Word Radio app.
This is your celebration.
Hi, I'm Baron Holland from Bank of America, and on behalf of Bank of America, I would like to wish WURD a happy 20th anniversary. WURD is the heartbeat of the Black community in Philadelphia, and we look forward to helping WURD continue their programming and continuing doing the good work in the community in Philadelphia. Once again, a very happy 20th anniversary.
We're celebrating 20 years of progressive Black talk media.
Let me tell you something, and don't you ever forget it. Success is nothing without someone you love to share it with.
You're listening to Love and Life with Carol Riddick on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
Well, hello there, family. Welcome back. Welcome to the top of the second hour of Love and Life on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media, on air and online at wordradio.com. OMG, that first hour went by so quickly. And it always does when Farida joins us, when she comes to share her time and her energy and her knowledge with us, for which I am eternally grateful. If you are just joining us, we were talking about self-esteem in the first hour. We were talking about low self-esteem, particularly in children, our young adults, and even our good and grown adults. And I was sharing some of my own business, talking about some things and how I processed things growing up. But I want you to know, as you know, on Love and Life, we talk about everything. Y'all know that we do everything under both of the umbrellas of both love and life. Here is where we share it. This is what we do, because, I believe that something from all of our stories could be beneficial to another person's story. I believe that, just that one spark could be helpful along someone else's journey. I truly, truly do believe that. And, which is why I don't mind being transparent with you. I really don't. Because I trust you. I trust you with my information. I trust that you too are here to share with me so that, we can all do better, because they say when you know better, you do better, right? That's what they tell me. So family, I'm going to go to the phone lines right now. I believe one of our family members is there. Are you still there?
Yes, this is Ron. How you doing?
Hi, Ron. I am well, thank you.
That's good. I hope you're doing well. On your topic just left, and a lot of people have the video of my life. I didn't have a good life as a child, but I had high energy. I didn't have low esteem. At an early age of my life, God intervened in my life. I didn't get a whooping as a child. The lady gave me caring for me, and it made me the person I am today. I was like a Mandingo child, walking, and I got to be 12 years of age. I would fight you in the church, and whoop your behind anywhere, try to whoop your behind anywhere that was necessary, coming up there messing with me. I was a humble child. Don't mess with that butterfly. I consider myself as I be slacking all them know, your family member. They know the type of man I was. And I came out of that situation, didn't break my spirit, uplift my spirit, and made me to be a warrior, not to hurt nobody, but to defend that woman that raised me, and to go to work on the farm and to help her to give me, to provide for me. So it's love. And I know I don't like using the word love, but I use it. It's caring. One caring good deed can change someone's life. And to whoever's listening, whoever got that video of me, way before they knew me, what I was seeing on that video. And that lady, they talked about me terrible when I came up. They talked about me terrible. And this lady named Miss Dimby, she told the other adults, say, why are you talking about him like that? That's somebody's child at that time. And guess what happened? God let me preach her funeral. I had an encounter with Earthling. And Ron is saying this. It has been kindness have got me where I need to go. And I thank the kind people in life. I was never a bully. And the Bible too much told me at an early age, he don't want no coward soldier. He want a warrior. Look at what they did to Jesus. They left that good man. The women stayed with him. Don't come with me with that nonsense. Because, and I'm going to say this to you, Cal, my company gets put over. Call Lennox Slack. You call Lennox Slack, Cal. I saw him right by the other day. I went around his house the other day. He's going through a little metamorphosis. I think it would do him very good if you would speak to him. I want to say this about your family member, man, before I get off this road. When we was in R.W. Brown Boys Club, the man came in to help the people like myself and many others. No schooling and nothing like that. And Mr. Dave took and did for Mr. Brown what he couldn't do. But what he did, he went on to help other people like myself and many others to take them to a different level. That's purpose in life. And I say to you educated people, not tell you what to do. Be careful how you treat your people, especially or anyone else. A kind word can change their life. Look at that video, what I said, those that got that video, what I said in that video. So I went to the woman's house 36 years later. I was working, I was a cash man. And I gave her money. I said, thank you for what you said about me, Miss Tiffany. What you said about me changed my life. All right, brother Bowen.
No, I overstand. I definitely overstand. Ron, thank you. Thank you for calling. Thank you for sharing positivity always. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, family, I want to take a moment to go to our socials. Miss Lola responding to the discussion that Farida and I were having about self-esteem rights. Society has normalized BBLs and surgeries so much that they don't equate it with low self-esteem. Miss Lola, you couldn't be more right. You couldn't be more right. And I was saying to Farida that it saddens me because, the way our society is now, we are also, there are a lot of us that are so displeased. I won't say all. I'm sorry, I misspoke. But there are so many people that are displeased with themselves. And we are showing our babies all the wrong things. And that I believe just so happens to be one of them. I don't intend to be judgmental. So if it sounds that way, that's not my intention, but I just wish we would do better, especially as it pertains to that. The surgeries and the BBLs and what we're showing each other. What we're showing our babies. It saddens me. Miss Lola also writes, I find it best to be true to who you are with no apologies. You can't please everybody. You sure can't. And I too am learning that. Well, I'm not out here trying to go get surgery or anything like that. This is what it is. Okay. But I am learning to be a lot more comfortable with who I am, with me. Miss Cheryl joins us. Miss Cheryl Brown. She writes, good evening, Carol, Kayla J, and Word family, and also to our former guest. Yes. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you. Miss Joanne writes, good evening as well. It's really a pleasure to have you all in the room. I told you that we're doing things differently tonight. Normally at the beginning of the show or the start of the episode, we'll talk about current events. And We're going to do that now in this hour because, family, I just saw so much today that I wanted to talk with you about. Miss Cheryl also writes, you know, Carol, when we're transparent, no one can make or break us. That's right, because we can tell our own story better than someone else. That is so true. She writes, thank you for sharing and know that I love you for it. Miss Cheryl, don't make me cry. You know, I'm one big teardrop. I love you more. You hear me? I love you more for that. Thank you. Thank you for that. It makes me feel comfortable to talk with you all, to share with you all. As I was saying, you know, there's just so much that we deal with as individuals, as human beings. But it feels good to talk with you here because you never know. One of you might say, well, Carol, I dealt with that, or that happened to me or with me or what have you. But as it pertains to this particular, the subject matter we were talking about in the first hour, self-esteem, having low self-esteem, I did. I shared with Farida and with you all that my grandfather, he died when I was 3 years old, and I was so close to him. I mean, from the time I came out of the womb, I was his baby. He called me kitten. That was his nickname for me. The only person that ever called, you know, I was his kitten. And when he died when I was 3 years old, I was traumatized so much that I began to wet the bed, and I also used to sleepwalk. I would sleep in such a deep state that you couldn't shake me. You couldn't do anything to wake me. So much that one night I fell from the top bunk of my bunk bed. It fell onto my like my hands were balled up as I was asleep, my mother said, and I fell onto the floor, fell and blacked my own eye. Okay. But in any event, I was sharing that I was shy. I was so shy and I was ashamed. I was so ashamed that I was a bedwetter. I didn't want anyone to know. And I felt so badly because, you know, my mother, she didn't fault me for it. She was doing the best that she could. She never made me feel badly about it. But at the same time, I felt so badly for her because, you know, she was putting plastic and all kinds of, you know, just the things that she had to do just to help me through my trauma, taking me, you know, to the doctor and all. And I wet the bed until I was 10 years old. 10 years old. So in any event, we were talking about self-esteem. We were talking about low self-esteem, and we were talking about the correlation to what happens at home and what happens in your life as a baby, and how it manifests in your adult life. So we were talking about that in the first hour with Farida, but family, as I said, there's so much going on. I want to hear from you, and I want to know what you think and how you feel about some of these stories that I'm going to share with you. So I read this article. They gave an update about what happened on I-95 as we're shifting gears about what happened on I-95, the shutdown. Okay. It reads, commuters in Philadelphia will be facing an uncertain summer after an elevated section of I-95 collapsed over the weekend, as you all know by now. The collapse of the northbound lanes happened after a tanker truck fire broke out around 6 a.m. on Sunday underneath I-95 near the Cotman Avenue exit in the Tacony section of the city. I kept asking for the longest, okay, what about the driver? What about the driver? What about the driver? But the story was updated to read that the driver's remains were removed from the cab of the tractor trailer this morning. It also read that although the remains had not officially been identified, family members of the driver believe their loved one to have been the person who was killed. It's just, it was just, when I tell you, I was sharing with you all that I worked, we had gigs. We did the Nina Simone tribute this weekend in New Brunswick. I was driving. My GPS took me up 95. I had not been that way, and I don't know how long. When I heard that story, it first it shook me because I just hours before had just driven by there. It shook me. And then I just began to thank God. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. But then I started thinking about those who were affected. So I'm curious to know If any of our family members live in the area or were affected in any way, just curious to know. And I'll further share with you, Michael Carroll, the Secretary of the Pennsylvania Department of Transportation, says his understanding is that the tractor trailer was trying to navigate the curve but lost control, with the tractor trailer landing on its side, which in turn ruptured the tank and ignited the fire. So I do want to say that my prayers and condolences go out to all that are affected in this tragedy. But I'm curious to know if any of our family members live in the area or were affected, or did you drive by there? Just curious to know. Just curious to know. And again, our prayers and condolences do go out. Okay, I want to move to this next story, talking about this air, y'all. I would like to know how many of you were also affected, because I was affected by the air quality issue that we were dealing with. This article reads, we likely had our worst air quality period Wednesday into early Thursday morning after smoke from the Canadian wildfires sank over our region overnight. It reads that, at times on Wednesday, the Lehigh Valley and Philadelphia had the worst air quality indexed ratings in the world. Let me tell you something, family. My chest felt like it was. I started wheezing. I'm curious to know if any of you were affected and in what ways you were. Some told me that their eyes were burning. Some other people told me that there were so many people that had some different effects from this air quality issue that we were dealing with. And I was out there with 2 masks on. I had to. Now, mind you, it was because I had to go. I just had to go to one place, because I did say to you, family, don't go out there. Don't go out there. I just had to do one thing. And even still, I had 2 masks on, and here I was feeling like I had, like my chest was about to close. So I'm curious to know if you too were affected in any way. But it does read that slightly cooler temperatures and higher humidity in Canada mean less smoke, across the border. So, one other thing, I think I shared this with you all last week too. Did you all see any video of the fire? I hate to be a conspiracy theorist, but my mind did start to wonder, because I didn't see any video of the fire. Well, first they said there was one fire, then they said there were fires, plural. So I was curious to know, did you see anything? Did you see anything? I'm just curious to know. Just curious to know. And then, okay, this next article, because I want to know what you're thinking and how you feel. And, you can feel free to comment on our socials, or as you can call 215-634-8065, or you can call toll free at 1-866-361-0900. And so this next story that I want to share, and I want to know how you feel about the hundreds of people that turned out in protest against the proposed 76ers arena near Chinatown. I don't know if you remember that. I was talking about that the other day. I was saying the 76ers said they want a new arena in Center City. Well, hundreds of people came out to say no, they don't want it at all. What do you think? What do you think? Do you care either one way or the other? Yes, no, what do you think? What do you think? I want to know about that. And the stories aren't stopping, because here I am with another article. This boil water advisory that was issued in West Philadelphia. Y'all, first we can't go outside, like Farida was saying, we can't breathe the air. Now we're boiling water in West Philadelphia. I read that the advisory began Sunday after a pumping station failed, and it impacted Winfield Heights and Winfield, Overbrook, and so many areas, inclusive of zip codes 19151 and parts of 19131 and 19139. Were you affected? Are you still being affected? And from my understanding, it reads that, it read that everyone was being urged to boil their water before drinking, cooking, making ice, brushing your teeth, like everything. Family, what is happening? I know I say, we're in the end of days, but I really don't want that to be. I don't want that to be our reality. I'm not ready. I'm not ready. But in any event, I'm encouraging you to talk with me. Tell me what you think and what you feel. Share with me. I want to say hello to Joey Dixon, who joined us just now on our socials. Hey there, Joey. He writes, peace, Carol, Kayla, Jay, WURD family. One love and jazz to you. And did you go to the Odunde Festival? Who went? I want to know. I want to know. Tell me all about it. I love Odunde, and I was unable to go this year. So I want to know how it went. The country's largest Black and African cultural festival. Tell me about it. Tell me about it. I want to know. Did you get any good wares? Did you? Because I got by so much good stuff there when I go. I want to know. What you did, when what you bought and how it went. And this last article that I'm going to share with you, mother of 6-year-old who shot teacher is expected to admit to marijuana use and gun possession. I don't understand. It reads, the mother of a 6-year-old boy who shot his teacher in Virginia is expected to plead guilty in federal court Monday to using marijuana while possessing a firearm, which is illegal under United States law. Can we get to why the 6-year-old child brought a gun to school? I don't misunderstand me. Okay. The mother using marijuana. I don't want to talk about that right now. I want to know why the baby brought the 6-year-old, okay, had a gun and brought it to school, shot his teacher. She's okay. They said that the teacher made sure all of the other kids got out of the classroom before addressing the remainder of the situation. Well, another teacher came in to help diffuse the situation as well, but she was helping the baby. There was, they said there was no argument. It wasn't an argument. A 6-year-old. Okay. So I've shared these stories. Let's take some time to think about it. Let's take a break, a good little break. And when we come back, can we talk about it? Let's do that. Family, you can share your comments on our socials, or you can call us 215-634-8065, or you can dial toll free 1-866-361-0900. Let me know what you think, please. Stay with us though, because we'll be right back.
Word Radio Digital Tip of the Month with Stephanie Humphrey is brought to you by Comcast.
When was the last time you cleaned your smartphone? If you can't remember, it might be time to give it and your other devices a little sprucing up. You don't necessarily need to buy expensive electronics wipes or other cleaners. An equal mix of isopropyl alcohol and water will do the trick. But make sure devices are turned off and unplugged before you start. Never spray any liquid directly onto any device. Slightly dampen a microfiber cloth and then use the cloth to clean the device. And don't forget that TV remote. It's one of the dirtiest gadgets in your home. Also, clean up the insides of your devices too by getting rid of old files or unused apps to free up hard drive space. Take a little time every so often to take care of your devices so they're always ready to go when you need them. Stay tuned to WURD for more tips and stay connected with us at wordradio.com.
Word family, it's that time again. Our special early bird membership drive. Hi, I'm Sarah Lomax, Word President and CEO. We need your support now more than ever, especially this year when we're celebrating our 20th anniversary. For the last 2 decades, WURD has been the only place in Philly where our people can speak and be heard in their own voice every day, all day long. Your membership support has allowed us to expand our programming, deepen our community engagement, and provide culturally relevant information across all of our platforms, on air, online, on social media, and through community outreach events. If you're not a Forward member yet, please join or renew today at the discounted rate of $75. Visit us at wordradio.com/earlybird or check us out in person when we'll be at Word's Black Music Month celebration on June 16th or for the Juneteenth weekend celebrations on June 18th and 19th. For more information, go to wordradio.com/earlybird. Thanks so much.
You're listening to Love and Life with Carol Riddick on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
Hey there, family. Welcome back. You are tuned in to Love and Life on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media, on air and online at wordradio.com. That's WURD radio.com. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Well, family, it's that time again. Time for our special early bird membership drive. We need your support now more than ever, especially this year when we're celebrating our 20th anniversary. For 20 years, WURD has been the place where Black people can speak and be heard in their own voice every day, all day long. Support from our members has allowed us to expand our programming and provide culturally relevant information across all of our platforms, on air, online, on social media, and through community outreach events. So, if you are not a WURD member yet, please join or renew today at the discounted rate of $75. Visit us at www.wordradio.com/earlybird or come to one of our events to join or renew in person. Check us out at WURD's Black Music Month celebration on June 16th or for the Juneteenth weekend celebrations on both June 18th and 19th. For more information, go to wordradio.com/earlybird. So, family, before the break, I was sharing some of the headlines of what's going on in the world nowadays. And during the commercial break, it was sent to me that the driver was identified as Nathaniel Moody, 53, of East Germantown, the East Germantown section of Philadelphia. Oh my goodness. Oh Lord, it just saddens me. In any event, it reads he was a father of 3 children, the youngest age 7. My God. My condolences go out to his wife, his family, his children, all of those that know and love him, and also to anyone else who was affected, because I don't know if there were any other fatalities, let me say, or anyone else physically injured with this. So let's go to our phone lines. Let's start the conversations. I believe one of our family members is waiting to join us. Are you still there?
Yes. Hi, Carol. It's Lola.
Hi, Miss Lola. How are you?
I'm doing well. You were so kind tonight. You were a trip when I was talking about the air kisses and stuff. But I think what you and your guests were talking about, I was raised between, of course my parents, but I had both sets of grandparents that were alive when I was young and younger. And my mom was like a hugger, but we spent a lot of time with my grandmother, and she wasn't. And so my personality kind of shifted to like my grandma, because she was like I don't know what the word is, like she was sassy and didn't take no mess. And so I kind of was like that. My mom was like really kumbaya-ish. She was a psychiatrist, and she just wanted to help everybody. She wanted the world to be so great. And I always had this attitude like, yeah, no, it's not. And so I like with that, I didn't really embrace hugs too much, but that conversation was great. And then, like I was just saying, like with the society, it's just like with Black women, we are the originals. Everybody tries to emulate what we look like, how our natural bodies are, our natural lips, our natural behinds, and how curvy we are. But what they do is they take that aesthetic, and white women have ran with it, and then kind of made, or I don't know what I just hated that Black women have bought into that they need to assimilate to what white women are doing when we are the originals that they have trying to be like. And so now you have like all these women out here. I'm talking about regular women. If you go to the stores today, you will see these butts, and you're like, this is not normal. This is not. Why are you doing this to yourself? And a lot of people will talk about they're going into the air, the hotels at the airport, getting these shots, illegal shots, because they don't know what's in them. They're not going to a doctor. And one of the doctors who was on TV, he's a really good doctor. I think they were on Botched. He said that the BBL is the most dangerous surgery to get because of the artery and the vein in the backside. And once something goes wrong, it closes up your heart. And so I just, wish that women, especially Black women, would just kind of love. It's nothing wrong. Listen, don't get me wrong. You want to put a little rouge on, a little makeup. You want to set yourself up. I'm all into that because I think when you feel better, when you look better, you feel better. You know what I mean? But doing all of this invasive surgery, unfortunately, Kanye West's mother passed like that.
Yeah.
And then we had this unfortunate, a young lady, DC Young Fly's girlfriend, who was beautiful. If you look at the pictures before, she had 3 babies, and I said, well, she was beautiful. And so that's where it comes into, Carol, the low self-esteem, because now this mother of 3 with a child she has a child 1, 6, and 7. Now she's gone at 32 because she wanted a bigger butt and bigger breasts. Now she is gone. So I think God is saying to us, be happy with what I give you, or something else can happen. And unfortunately, it might be your life. And I mean, I've heard about this, I work in corporate, a lot of women, not just Carol, people everywhere, regular people are getting these things, winding up in the hospital for weeks. Their body can't take it. It's just, I mean, it just scares me to death. And I'm just like, I know working out is hard because sometimes I have to make myself, I'm like, Lola, you got to go to the gym. If you just go for half an hour. And once I get there, I might stay an hour. You know what I mean? And it does help, But, I mean, it's not going to get me a BBL, but it's just going to keep me in shape. And I think a lot of women are saying, well, no, I can go get a mommy makeover or BBL for, the surgery is 3 or 4 hours or 5 hours. Then I'll take all the pain. I mean, Carol, I had a friend who did it. And we went to visit her because they have to take you to a hotel for the aftercare stuff. Your whole body is wrapped in like Pampers or almost, or something like that, some type of cloth. Your whole body is bleeding.
Your whole body?
Like the bot, like wherever you get it. Like so, if you get the top part, the BBL, or if you're getting your tummy tucked, and then most people get all of it together. The BBL. The tummy tuck, that's what the mommy makeover is, and a breast lift or breast augmentation. So your body is then wrapped in this, looks like paper diaper cloth. It's really heavy so it can absorb the blood. And so, oh my God, I'm telling you, they are.
How do you bathe?
Well, no, when we went to visit her, you sponge down. You don't bathe. They sponge down because your body has to heal. So your body is taking a long time. It is so painful. One of my girls, she couldn't lift her arm for 7 weeks. So I just
7 weeks?
Yes, 7 weeks. And she looks great. Don't get me wrong. But the fear of it, I'm like, I'll be the one get on the table and won't get up. I mean, there are people all over who are getting these surgeries. Usher's wife, his then wife, went to get a surgery. She almost died. They had to fly her back to Atlanta. We have one of the biggest novelists in New York. She was almost a billionaire. She got the surgery and died. So it doesn't matter where you come from or how much you have or how much you don't have. These surgeries are life-threatening. And before you have to let me go, I wanted to say something about the mother and the gun. We have a lot of white kids out here shooting up schools. The parents knew. They knew they were in the room with the guns and stuff, and they knew something was going on. They was acting weird. And all of a sudden, listen, I feel so sorry for that teacher. I don't care what color she was. But the boy needs help, a lot of therapy, a lot of help. The family, not just him, but we need a whole family therapy for the rest of their life.
Agreed.
She is responsible. She is. But why is the Black woman of a 6-year-old the poster child for now being, pleading, plead and being convicted now? And all these white kids are out here murdering people up. Do you remember that boy who killed those kids in Connecticut in that school when Obama?
Yes.
He killed
Yes, I do.
5 second graders. Now, his father was a huge New York Wall Street guy. The mother was at home, because they had a lot of money. That was a very rich area. Why wasn't she charged? Because she testified. Before he killed her. They were in this therapy thing, and she had called the police a lot of times. She testified that he had guns, and the father knew, and the brother knew, and all of this stuff. So my point is, Carol, I'm just saying, why isn't it now when the teacher wasn't killed? Thank God for that. But now she has to. Now she's the poster. Black woman is the poster woman for this. When we have all these white kids out murdering everybody, the children and everything. And
That's
Carol,
exactly.
This is my last thing.
No, go right ahead.
We are being attacked on air, land, and sea. We have the planes and people acting crazy. You can't hardly get through a plane. We have the expressway I-95 burned down. The water, you can't even drink the water. We have to get prepared. Get that geyser water when you see it. Everybody, let me tell you something, Carol. We need buy stuff like now, not when a crisis comes. Make sure, don't buy it and take it from everybody. Buy 2 today, buy 2 tomorrow, buy 2 case of water, stock up on your canned goods. Buy it in increments every day, or when you get paid, or when you can afford it. So when these crises come up, you're not scrambling. Because, Carol, do you see what we're dealing with right now?
Yes, I do.
The smoke, the fire, we getting smoke and all that stuff all the way from Canada. I've been wearing a mask since because I don't want that in my body.
Miss Lola, I'm not listen, and like I said, I'm apologizing because I don't mean to be a conspiracy theorist, but I've not seen anything. Typically when the news is reported, they're showing us video and we've got an aerial view and this and that. And I've not seen anything. They keep telling us that it's a fire and that there are then they said there are fires, but I've not seen anything. And I know they will tell us. I understand how they create narratives at times. I believe it's just more chemical. It's something else. I just don't believe it's a fire. I just don't. I've said it. That's nobody else's opinion but mine, but I just don't. I
think a lot of it is human error, Carol. I think a lot of stuff that is going on is a lot of, these fires. And I want to say this too. We don't even know what happened with the tank, the guy, and he was a black man, like you said, from Germantown in Philadelphia. We have people who cause catastrophes, and they have to have months-long investigations. They have to find out what the traffic pattern was. We don't have any video. So don't go blaming a black man. We don't know if the tanker something was wrong.
We don't know what it was.
We don't know if somebody cut him off, because I see people play tic-tac-toe with these drivers going in and out of the lane, and then the truck is so huge that they can't stop like we can because we're driving in a car. They can't move the way we can, and people don't respect that. Now, I'm not saying I don't know what happened, but we need a full investigation. But before we start saying, because did you hear that they said that on the news that he was going around too fast, and then that's what made it overturned? How do you know what was actually happening less than a day that it has happened? And
thank you. Less than a day. Listen, that's what I said. I said, okay, so this story reads, and here it's the Pennsylvania Department, like DOT, the secretary of the DOT who's saying that, well, it's his understanding that he was going. That's exactly why I shared that, because my thought is, really? You've got a conclusion already? That he was driving too fast and he lost control of the tractor trailer, and you put the whole story together already when quite honestly we had not even identified who he was yet. But you put the whole story together. But okay,
exactly. And when it's other people of other races, and I'm not saying that this is like a race thing, but they usually say we usually have a 4-month, 5-month investigation. Then they put something out with the secretary, with the Department of PennDOT, that you can read online. They don't even release it at first. But because, now it's all, it was his fault. Don't do that to us. This man has been a long haul truck driver for a very long time, per report. and never had anything or, any type of
No
catastrophe
incidents.
before.
Right,
So,
right.
So let's give this man some grace. This man has been perished. So
exactly.
let's just do that. Well, thank you, Carol, for letting me share today.
Thank you.
See you some more. Okay.
Thank you, as always, Miss Lola. Family, you too. Listen, I welcome your comments. I welcome you to the conversation. Sync Blue writes, I am a conspiracy theorist, and with the recent phenomenons, mercy, Lord have mercy. I am in full agreement with you. Miss Phyllis Williams is joining the conversation. She says hello as well. She says, good evening, everyone, family and everyone. Enjoy your evening. Nasir writes, Sister Carol, I brought my grandson in from playing early because of the smoke. And no, I didn't see any pictures of the fire in Canada. And thank you for being so honest with these topics. Oh, thank you. I can't. Thank you. Thank you. Because the one thing that I want here is I want us to be open and I want us to be honest. And I so appreciate that everybody is respectful as well. Even if we don't agree, even if our opinions differ. I don't know why I can't talk tonight. But even if our opinions differ, I so appreciate you all, family, that we are able to talk and listen to one another. So thank you for that. And thank you for allowing me the space to share with you and trust you as I do. I'm going to continue reading from our socials. When we come back from this break, we're just going to take a short break. So stay with us, family, because we'll be right back.
Struggling to pay your water or sewer bills? New Jersey's low-income household water assistance program can help you avoid service disruptions, restore services, pay reconnection fees, and stay up to date on payments. Don't get shut off. Apply for the low-income household water assistance program today. Call 211 or visit waterassistance.nj.gov.
This is the story of a very special woman. In a matter of seconds, she turned herself into a great mathematician or an entrepreneur. Her knowledge was limitless and still is. She could also make monsters disappear, especially those that lurked in the shadows under the bed. Once, this woman put back together a teenage girl's broken heart, which had been shattered in 1,000 pieces. Just by giving her a bear hug. She masqueraded as a regular person at work, but as a superhero at home. Everyone knows her as Gabriella. I still call her Mom.
Your hero needs you now, and AARP is here to help. Find the care guides you need to help, complete with tips and resources at aarp.org/caregiving. A public service announcement brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
A Shiro's work is never done. You care for the house, the kids, and our future. We're so grateful for all you do. Now it's time to care for yourself and save a little more for retirement. A free 3-minute online chat can give you the personalized tips you need to boost your retirement savings now. Visit aceyourretirement.org today.
A public service announcement brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
June is LGBTQIA Pride Month. Pride Month began as a way to honor the 1969 uprising in Manhattan. On June 28, 1969, the NYPD raided the Stonewall Inn, a gay bar in Greenwich Village. The officers forced the patrons out of the establishment and onto the street. The gay community, frustrated from the sustained harassment by the police, sparked a 3-day riot. This incident was the tipping point for the gay liberation movement. This month, those who identify as LGBTQIA, lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer, intersex, and asexual, celebrate being who they are. Let's continue to create safe spaces for this community to work and to live. This Pride Month vignette was brought to you by
What is love?
You're listening to Love and Life on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
I think I know what love
Hey there, family. Welcome back. You are tuned in to Love and Life on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media, on air and online at wordradio.com. That's WURDradio.com. We are talking about everything. Do you hear me? We're talking about the shutdown, I-95, the tragic accident that occurred, the tragic incident that occurred. We're talking about the air quality challenges that we faced in the past few days. And I was asking if anyone is affected or had been affected. And if so, how were you affected? You know, I was having some wheezing in my chest and I was double masked. I know people whose eyes were burning. I had a headache. I did have a headache. I don't typically get a headache. I had headaches as well. I was talking about what was I talking about? Oh, the hundreds of people that turned out to protest, I'd say, against the 76ers arena that they want in Center City. And we were talking about having to boil water. We're talking about it all. We're talking about the mother of the 6-year-old who's now being charged. I hate to even say that because I really want to deal with the poor baby bringing a gun to school. That is the bigger issue to me. But the mother is being targeted, of course, as I see it, because she is being charged with using marijuana while possessing a firearm, which is illegal under United States law. In any event, I'm going back to our socials. Harry Williams has joined us. Harry writes, "Good evening, Ms. Carol and Word family, love and blessings." Miss Phyllis, she shares as well, and she writes, "So sorry to hear about the fire explosion that happened on I-95. Condolences to the family of the man who drove the truck that was killed and those affected by this tragedy." Tony Brown writes, "This is America, KKK, 400 years and Black people shocked at this racist government." Ms. Phyllis also adds, "If she runs out of bottled water, then she doesn't drink out of the spigot." Me neither, Ms. Phyllis. She writes, "I always boil it for a few minutes." You listen, I have to do. I'm a tea drinker, so I keep bottled water in the house. So I overstand that. Sink Blue writes, "I am having a problem distinguishing low self-esteem cosmetic enhancement and pure narcissistic pride and vanity." You know, oh my goodness, that's a good point. That is such a good point because I'm curious. Oh, that's a whole conversation. Oh, Sink, so you got to call so we can talk about that because I don't know where the line is drawn on that. I don't know. Maybe I'll have to ask someone who's had the surgery or have a few people who've had the surgery on to talk with us and explain, their feelings about it and tell us why, because I have so many questions and I'm curious as well. I really am. Gary Bryant writes, "Our Black is beautiful. Our women don't need these artificial enhancements." You know what? I wish those that are getting these things knew that. I wish they did. Miss Phyllis writes, "You're right, Miss Lola. The smoke is still in the air, and suddenly they say the driver was the blame for the accident. Usually there is a long investigation, and it didn't take them long this time. Why? That is the question. Why?" Yeah, and that is the question. I did not understand how, like I said, it was determined, well, it was suggested to us that this man was the cause of this incident when he still had not yet even been identified. How do we draw a conclusion so quickly? How does that happen? Reading more from our socials, Miss Phyllis. Oh, your eyes were burning. Yeah, and I tell you, I had a tickle, a cough. I mean, it really got me. It really, really got me. And it honestly, it scared me. And I do still have a little fear. Well, I won't live in fear. I'm not going to say that. But I did, I had a little moment where I was a little shook because I just don't understand what chemicals they're putting in the air, what they're doing, what they're continuously doing. But, I'm not going to worry about it. Ms. Julie Audrey Ward Carnegie writes, Philadelphia Inquirer, PennDOT to demolish South Bridge, New Jersey call received regarding the truck. We need to know the record of the truck owner, the logistics, and the standards. Yeah, there's so many questions about the incident. So many questions about the incident. I don't know. I don't know, family, but if you two want to contribute to the conversation, we're welcoming that. We are welcoming your contribution to this conversation, and you can do so by sending a message in our socials. I'm looking at the time, so we don't have a whole lot of time left for a call, but I most certainly welcome any comment that you care to share with us in on our socials. What are your thoughts about the poor baby, the 6-year-old? How does a 6-year-old bring a gun to school? How does that happen? How does that happen? The one thing I want to know too, are any of our family members affected by the water? I don't know, this water issue that is taking place in West Philadelphia. It reads that in Upper West Philadelphia. I did not know we had an Upper West Philadelphia, quite honestly. But in any event, the article read that 18,000 customers in Upper West Philadelphia were urged to boil their water. So are any of our family members, does that apply to any of you? Have you had any issues? And what are you doing? Do you all buy bottled water anyway? Do you do that anyway? And if you do you use your bottled water for your tea as well, if you drink tea and things of that nature? Or how are you making out? What are you doing? I'm curious to know. Just really curious to know. Yeah, Upper West Philly. I know. Miss Phyllis, I never heard of Upper West Philly. Have lived in Philadelphia all my life. And this article read in Upper West Philadelphia. I said, I don't know what that is. Miss Lola writes, white media is out of control. Is in control. I'm sorry. Listen to me. Out of control. That's me. Miss Lola writes that white media is in control of the narrative. That's exactly what I said. The narrative is always. See, y'all, I get all carried away. She writes, a full investigation is warranted before statements are made. That man is a Philly guy. Something major has to happen. She writes, I'm sure this wasn't his first rodeo transporting fuel. Exactly. Going back to this, have any of you heard of Upper West Philly? Miss Phyllis and I, we've not heard of Upper West Philly. I'm not familiar with that. Are you familiar with it? I did not know we had an Upper West Philly. In any event, I like to keep our conversations going. And I'm happy to continue talking about all of this when we meet again tomorrow. Miss Lola has me cracking up. Miss Lola talking about white people lingo. Please, Miss Lola. You are a mess. But you're right. You are so right. Upper West Philly. What is that? What is that? But family, I tell you always, whenever we have topics that we're discussing, when I give my opinion, know that it is my opinion. It is not the opinion of the station or anyone else. It is my opinion. I just want to be clear about that because I don't want any family members to get upset or misunderstand. It's me speaking on my own behalf. But I'm always anxious to continue the conversations, and I encourage you to do so when we meet again. In each episode, if it's something that we didn't discuss enough, let's continue the conversation. Let's always do that. But it's that time as we begin to wrap up tonight's episode. I don't know what's wrong with my tongue tonight. I cannot speak, but I'm going to get that together. But I do thank you. I thank you. I extend my utmost gratitude to each and every one of you as you continue to support Love and Life and as you continue these conversations and discussions with me. And again, I want to thank you so much for allowing me to be transparent and allowing me the space and to trust you all. Thank you so much for that. Special thanks to our guest, Farida Boyer, who I can't wait to have come back again because it's always a great conversation when she calls, when she comes in. So special thanks to Farida for sharing her time, her energy, her attention, all of that good stuff It's always helpful to me, I know. Additional special thanks to Miss Kayla J, who's back. We missed you when you weren't here with us the other day. So welcome back, Miss Kayla J. Thank you for all that you do. Thank you, Niall Jax, for all that you do as well. Thank you to the entire WURD family. You know I'm going to say it because I say it every single episode. Family, I love you. We are all in this together. You hear me? So be good to you, but be good to those around you. Okay? Have a great night and be sure to join me Monday through Thursday, 7 till 9 p.m. Eastern Time for another edition of Love and Life right here on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media. Good night, y'all.
The job search can be a difficult and frustrating process. WURD's Livelihood Initiative was designed to help you find the right opportunity for your next professional move. Check out these recent openings posted on